Alright, everybody, and welcome to our last game. It'll be Turks versus Turks, Leaf against Bouncer for the deciding game. I do believe it's a best of 5, where we went on to see in the first 2 rounds, we had Goths versus Chinese, and both players were able to win with both the Goth civilization. Neither one was able to win with the Chinese. And then we went on to see a Mayans versus Mayans, and I do forget who exactly won that game. And then we went on to see a Persians versus Persians, where I do believe it was a Bouncer winning that game. And then the winner of this game will be able to move on from round 2 to round 3 of Masters of Deathmatch, presented by AOC Realm, to go against Jidba, who is actually the defending champion of AOC Rebirth, which was actually, I believe, put on by our same administrator, Lifestyler, and Democracy of Gods. I do believe. I'm not exactly for sure on that, but I wasn't able to bring the entire games of the Mayans and the Persians. The Persians game was actually a 2-hour game, so I really don't have the time to do that entire cast. And then the Mayans game was it just wasn't an awesome game to watch. It just wasn't as exciting. And I really just wanted to bring everybody this game because first of all, because it's different civilizations. We haven't seen these civilizations play yet, especially in round 1, and also the map. One of my favorite maps ever, Gold Rush, awesome map. Basically, the key to this map is, as you can see, gold is scattered everywhere, but only in the middle of the map. So it's extremely key that both players, it's more key to have the middle of the map opposed from your home base, where you start off with. Your town center, where you get your town center, doesn't matter. Just move everything you can to the middle of the map and get that gold, all that gold that you can, because there's really not too much gold scattered around. As you can see, there's not a main gold pile. Normally, like in Green Arabia, Blue Arabia, or in pretty much any other map, usually when you first enter the map, you have your town center, and then you're going to have a main gold pile around your camp. But in Gold Rush, it's not there. It's all put into the middle, so it really makes it so the players have to battle for the center of the map. Now, it is possible in a team game for this map, even if you don't have the middle of the map captured, and it's a 2-on-2, you and your teammate are able to mark it, have a strong market, and don't have to worry about the gold in the middle, as you already know. But in a 1 versus 1, very key. So we're going to see exactly who is able to capture that middle ground, and who's going to be able to do better at holding it off. And like I said, I just didn't really want to didn't think the Persians and the Mayans game was as important as the Goths and Chinese, and the vice versa, and this Turkish one. Just way better games for the 3 that I'm casting, and I'm gonna be able to bring it to you in 2 different separate videos. And the main reason I did do a little bit of casting on the Mayans game and somewhat highlights on the Persians game, but for some reason the games were a little corrupt, so I don't know. So we're going to try to keep it simple and just less is more type of thing, I guess. So we're going to jump right into it. We got the Turks versus Turks, obviously. Both players are playing pretty much almost the same strategy, except for Leaf has been able to capture that middle ground a little quicker than Bouncer was. Bouncer doesn't seem too worried about it, though, but he is standing on the bottom portion of the hill, which is going to really give Leaf's cannoneers a little bit better rate of fire and a little bit longer range, just give them a little more power. And those bombard towers, if I do recall, though, I could have sworn the rule said no bombard towers. Huh. I might have to check that. I could be totally wrong and just making that up off the top of my head, but I do recall seeing the rule that said no bombard towers. But even if there is a rule, no bombard towers, if both players agree to it, I'm sure that's okay, but don't quote me on that, because I ain't saying shit. But it does look like Bouncer is fighting for that ground heavily. He does have a wide range of different kind of units, variety of units going against those. But if he lets Leaf get up too many of those bombard towers, he's really going to have a problem taking them out. As you can see, he's already got the ram up, the siege ram really going at those bombard towers. Leaf has a few hand cannoneers in the background, trying to do as much damage from afar as he can. He just has a great, almost overwhelming amount of bombard towers right now, and I really hate bombard towers. There's nothing I hate more than somebody making 20 or 30 bombard towers and making more bombard towers than actual fighting military units. I just hate that. There's nothing cheaper than it. But, you know, not talking shit about Leaf or anything. He's just making, you know, your standard amount, 6 or so, and they're just getting raped, is all I can say. So he's not doing much to protect those. He really doesn't look like he has much to do it. His his forces are extremely dwelling down, and Bouncer doesn't seem too concerned over the middle, even though he is being able to capture it. He decided to spread out the other parts of the portion of the map. Instead of taking that center, Leaf dashed for the center, and looks like he's paying for it right now. I don't know where his army went, but he is doing, both players are now collecting their standard amount of gold. We are about 12 minutes into the game. We are now seeing Bouncer collecting the main gold piles from the center of the map. Leaf attempted to, but was unsuccessful at even being able to grab a single piece of that gold. Actually, he was able to grab 3 pieces of that main gold pile in the middle, so he did get a little bit of gold, I guess you could say. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold off at all. Doesn't even look like he's trying too much. He is creating a few units, the weakest of the kind, and this game looks like it could be over fairly quickly. We'll just speed it up. There's a second castle up there. Bouncer has a ton of rams that are just getting destroyed right now, leaving them unprotected, but they are going to make it away. He still is going to have a few in his arsenal, and for when he decides to make that push of all of his army all in at once, you're going to do a great deal of damage. There we go, Leaf using every villager he has, pulling them off that main source of gold, building a couple of castles, trying to really create some kind of defensive and offensive castle variety right now. And now here he goes making those town centers, because without gold you don't have any units, so he's got to risk it, putting his villagers right on the front line. Says I gotta get that gold somehow, even if the villagers are on the front lines without my military. He's got to use it. He's got a trebuchet coming in, trying to take out that town center, chop those villagers from mining that gold, taking out that castle, stopping the arrows coming and destroying his units. But we do have Bouncer coming in with those tons of rams, trying to take out all those castles. We just have a massive conflict going on right at the center of the gold, in the middle of the map, which would be already, what's the word I'm looking for, which would be extremely predictable in the map such as Gold Rush, and it looks like Bouncer is overtaking Leaf. I would expect to see a resign coming from Leaf here in a couple of seconds, considering he doesn't have much food, and that's one of those resources, if you don't have any food, you just kind of give up. But he is attempting to make more farms. Wasn't expecting that many rams. LOL, GG, and there we have it. Leaf is over. Pretty fast game. If you're not ready for it, Gold Rush can be a little bit of an intimidating map. Kind of hard to come back to. Not really such a back and forth map. They're usually the first person to capture that center map is usually the one that goes on to hold on to it for a good portion of time. But for any of you out there, if you're ever playing Gold Rush and you're not able to capture that main source of gold, just keep on farming, keep on cutting your woods down, and do exactly what Bouncer did. Create a market, sell that extra wood to create that gold. It'll make up for the gold that you're not mining. And just so you know, Bouncer will be the one going on to round 3. I think he and Jidba are the first ones to make it to round 3. We still have a good portion of round 1 games that have not been played, but for second round we do have D Herzog and the Situation still have to play their game in round 2. We have BSK Priest, who is sitting in round 2 waiting for the winner of Eggspurt and Mystical Soul. So the winner of that game will go on to play Priest. We do have Sacrifice waiting in round 2, waiting for the winner of Bad Trip and Baba Sabmandan or something like that. So Sacrifice will face the winner of that, and we also have UL King Franco waiting for Amazingless and Amazing Grace game to see the winner of that, and we have many more. And I'll work on getting more games put on the website aocrealm.net, and for you all, for everybody's enjoyment. And see you on the website.